So welcome, this is the paper 2 Earth geometry. Remember the first video I was talking about the concepts, the introduction, so that you know how to use or how to find the time, distance and the location of a point. So for today in this video we need to see how we are able to tackle different questions. So the question reads, M, R, and Z are points on the surface of the Earth as shown in the diagram below. M is on the parallel of latitude 55 degrees north. Z and R are on the same parallel of latitude 65 degrees south. M and R are on the same longitude, which is 30 degrees east, and Z is on longitude 45 degrees west. Take pi to be 3.142 and radius, which is 6,307 kilometers. There are times whereby they'll give radius in nautical miles nm, right? So let us see how we're able to solve this. So just a recap, last time these lines are what we call longitudes. They are on the eastern part or western part of the prime meridian, which is in between here. Then these ones which are like horizontally arranged, they are latitudes. They are north or south of the equator. So question 1 reads, find the difference in latitude between points M and R. So based on what we did, if you didn't watch on the previous video, you go back to the previous video so that you're able to see how to find the difference in degrees. So M and R, as you can see, M is on the northern part and R is on the southern part, right? So they are on the different locations. M is on the northern part and R is on the southern part, which is 65 degrees south. So the difference in degrees it will be, you see M is on 55 degrees north and R is on 65 degrees south. So different locations, we said we should add. So you add 55 plus 65. What are you getting? 55 plus 65. So this is paper 2. You can easily punch. Don't waste time. Just punch, because you'll be, time won't be with you. So this is the 120 degrees. That's the difference in degrees or in latitude between point M and R. Question 2. Calculate the distance MR along the same longitude, giving your answer to the nearest kilometer. They are talking about kilometer because here the radius was given in kilometers. If the radius was in nautical miles nm, they were going to talk about nautical miles as well. So now distance MR from M to R. From M to R, what's the distance? So M and R are lying on the same longitude. This is a longitude. M and R, they lie on the same longitude. So look at where M and R are appearing. So M is like on this line, which is 55 degrees north, and R is on 65. This is R, 65 degrees south. So they want us to find the distance in between. So we need to find the difference in degrees for these two. So it's like what we did in the first question. The difference in degrees, M is on the northern part, R is on the southern part. So you simply do 55 plus 65 because they're on the different locations. So there you go. You get 120 degrees like we found in the first question. So now, distance along the same longitude, this is the formula. So say MR is equal to theta over 360 times 2 pi r. In the previous video, I showed you which methods to use when you are dealing with same latitudes or same longitudes. So here, where there's theta, we'll put this angle 120 degrees. Remember, we equate the difference in degrees. Even if you were adding, we used to equate the difference in degrees. So it's 120 here over 360 times 2 times pi. Pi was given in the information. It was 3.142. So simply replace 3.142 times radius. Radius was also given, which is 6,370 kilometers. So you simply put 6,370, right? So you can just punch this on your calculator. Punch this on your calculator. So punch 120 divided by 360 is equal to, then see this, you can punch, get your calculator. If you want, you can start with whatever is on top, press the equal sign, then divide by 360. So, or if you want, you can do 120 over 360, press the equal sign, then you continue multiplying this. So 120 divided by 360 times, you see, I've pressed the equal sign, press the equal sign, times 2 times 3.142 times 6,370. So make sure you counter check what you are punching on your calculator. 3.142 times 6,370. So when you press the equal sign, it has to be this 0.02667, right? So now this question is talking about, as you can see, it's a decimal number, a long one for that matter. They are saying leave your answer correct to the nearest kilometer. Nearest kilometer, it means we should target the numbers before the point. Target the numbers before the point. Only these. These are kilometers, these are just meters. So nearest kilometer, you stand the last number immediately before the point, and then after that, when you stand there, look at the next number on your right. Is it above 5? Is it 5 and above so that we add 1 here? No, it is 4 and below, which is a 0. We can't add 1 to 3. So just write this as your answer. 13,343 kilometers. It is kilometers because we know the radius was kilometers. If the radius was in nautical miles, we are also going to put nm, which is nautical miles. So this is how we are able to deal with this question. So question 3, it says if the local time at Z is 08 hours, what is the local time at R? So regarding the concepts under Earth geometry, we said whenever you're going towards the east, time will be ahead, you gain time, and whenever you're going towards the west, you need to lose time, you'll be behind. So have you seen here, Z has 08 hours, so R doesn't have time, so we're going towards the east, time must be more than 08 hours, right? So now they have talked about Z and R. So Z is here, R is there, right? So we know that Z has 45 degrees west and R is on 30 degrees east. So you need to know the difference. We have to find the difference in degrees. We have to find the difference in degrees. So west, east, different positions, you add 45 plus 30. What answer do you get? That answer will be 75 degrees. So the difference in degrees is 75 degrees. So now the time at Z was given to be 08 hours. The time is 08 hours. What about at R? So it has to be more than 08 hours. So now you convert these degrees into hours. So use a scale. 1 hour is equal to 15 degrees. What about 75 degrees? What will be the hours? We don't know. So you need to cross multiply, right? You need to cross multiply. So x times 15, that is 15x, is equal to 1 times 75, that is 75. Make x the subject, over 15 you divide, even here over 15. So 15 and 15 you cancel, it means x has remained. So what's 75 over 15? That is 5. So this 5 represents 5 hours. So I've converted degrees into hours. It was 75 degrees. It translates into 5 hours. Now, remember we are going towards the east, so we need to add this plus that. If we were going towards the west, we are going to subtract 08 hours minus 05. So therefore, since we are going towards the east, time will be ahead. This is 5 hours. This is 5 hours. So you write 5, meaning you write 05 with 0 zeros here. We need to add because we are going towards the east. So you add 8 plus 5, you get 13. So indeed, when it is 8 hours, when it is 8 hours at Z, at R it will be 13 hours. It is ahead because it is on the eastern part of Z, right? So now, this is what you are supposed to do. Now, let me clarify something here. Suppose this 75. Suppose after finding the difference in degrees, this was 78. Let's assume it was 78 degrees, right? Let's assume this was 78 degrees. How are we able to convert? So you do the same. 1 hour is equal to 15 degrees, right? What about 78 degrees? What will be the time? The hours we don't know. So x times 15 is 15x. 1 times 78, it is 78 over 15 over 15. 15 they cancel, right? So now you ask yourself, 78 over 15, what do you have? 78 over 15, you have 5, right? You have 5 hours. What's the remainder? What is the remainder? So the remainder will be 3, right? The remainder will be 3. So that remainder, it means it will be in minutes. So use a small scale to say 4 minutes is equal to 1 degree. What about the 3 that remained here? That 3 that remained was in degrees, please. It was in degrees. So you put under 0 degrees here. What will be the minutes? Because always when you find the remainder, when you find the remainder, yes, it will mean minutes, right? So you cross multiply here. You cross multiply x times 1, you get x. 4 times 3, you get 12 minutes. So it means here you had 5 hours and 12 what? Minutes. Meaning if it was adding, we're going to add 08 hours plus 05 12, right? So the time was going to be, if you add 8, it was going to be 13 12. So this is how you are supposed to deal with such questions when there is a remainder, when dividing, when using this scale. So you might be asking yourself, why haven't we put dots here? Dots. We don't put dots because in math, once you put dots, once you do 13 hours like this, it means ratios. In math, this is ratios, so we don't write dots, but just leave space like we left here, or in the question also they left space, right? They left space, so it means time. Once you put dots, full colon, it means ratios in math, so we don't encourage people to put dots when talking about or when writing time. So the next question is talking about finding the distance ZR in kilometers along the same latitude, giving your answer to the nearest kilometer. ZR, they are on the same latitude. As you can see, this line is a latitude. So we need to know the formula on how to find the distance along the same latitude. So ZR, that is which question? Question 4. Right? Question 4. So ZR is equal to, same latitude is theta over 360 times 2 pi r cos x degrees. This is the formula for finding distance along the same latitude. So look at where z is. Z is in this position and r that position. So z has which longitude? 45 degrees west, right? Z is 45 degrees west and r is 30 degrees east, right? You see this? Z is in 45 degrees west, r is 30 degrees east. So they want us to find distance. So they are on the different locations. So you add 45 plus 30, you get 75 degrees. So that 75 degrees is what you put here. Then 2 times pi is in the question. The pi is in the information. 3.142. 3.142 times radius is also in the information, 6370. We're just copying and pasting. Cos x, it is where z and r are lying. Z and r are both lying on the same latitude, which is 65 degrees south. So here you put 65, meaning they are lying on the same latitude. What has remained now is just to punch. You just have to punch this. Let us just punch this. So if you want, you can start with whatever is on top, press the equal sign, then the answer divide by 360, or you start with this 75 over 360, punch the equal sign first, then continue multiplying with those. So 75 divided by 360. Make sure your calculator must have a D or DEG on your screen, meaning it is in degree mode. If not, the answer will be wrong because you are dealing with degrees. So 75 divided by 360 times 2 times 3.142 times 6370 times cos 65. So the answer is 3524.37921. So now the rules are saying we should round off the answer to the nearest kilometer. So nearest kilometer, you target anything before the point. So 352, but this last number immediately before the point, make sure you consider whatever is on your right. You stand here, look at the next number is 3. If is 3 more than 5? No, so we can't add 1 to this 4. If it was 567, would have added a 1 to make this 5. So just write 3524. What are the units? The units, like we said earlier, they are being represented by the radius here, which is in kilometers in this case, in this question. So just write kilometers. So ZR is 3,524 kilometers.